found it. I had it in my turbo box. So, oh, it must have fell out. I think I got everything in here that I need. All Gktech, their full handbrake kit. I don't know if I can use these, but I bought some stock rear calipers for the handbrake because it's a dual caliper setup. I have brackets and stuff, so I don't know if I can use those. We'll find that out. So here's all the boxes of everything. I'll kind of cut to a different camera angle and we'll kind of go through the boxes and see what the kit comes with. So if you guys are interested in buying this, then you'll get an idea what we got now. So we'll open up this box, see what we got. I think this is the brackets. So here's the dual caliper brackets. So I imagine these will just bolt on somewhere, and then the caliper will bolt here, but this will bolt onto the hub somewhere. So this box will have your brackets and your hardware. Everything's packaged nicely. Got a 240 on there. So that's the bracket box. Let's see what the small one has. So I assume that this is the base for the handbrake, and there's some hardware in here. So we get a brake master cylinder as well. It's a willow wood. It's like pretty nice quality stuff. Again, this is all in the kit. I got this from Gktech.com, and it was their full dual caliper kit. This looks like, I'm sure this is the handbrake itself. Yeah, here's the nice little stamp on there. Rip that thing real good. I might put a grip on it, kind of make it a little bit taller. Some hardware in there as well. And it came with all the lines we'll need, all the brake lines, all the fittings. And if I remember right, I bought this specifically for 350Z, so I'm sure all these fittings will be the right size. I'm sure a lot of it's universal. Brackets for the handbrake. I believe this is the transmission tunnel bracket. So this will bolt onto the transmission, I think like this, or maybe like that, because I think it's a driver's side deal. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get in there. And just so people know, it's not like a how-to or install. I mean, it's an install video, but I'm not gonna go step by step. This is how to do it. So there'll probably be some camera cuts in there and whatever. I'll explain the best that I can of what I'm doing, but again, this isn't gonna be a step by step. It's just gonna be kind of like more of an install video, and this is what it looks like. So, all right, so I did end up getting the bracket in there. It doesn't fit very well because the shifter and everything's out because the chains is out of the car. But this does go forward like that. Yes. So my handbrake is probably going to be somewhere here, which is perfect. But I'm going to have to trim this out. I don't think there's anything really important. Kind of goes something like that, I guess. I'll probably take some snips or a little saw or something, and I'll just cut this plastic piece entirely out right there at the where it connects. And that should give me enough room, because I think this thing sits like back in there a little bit, and that will be hidden, and the handle is more on the back side of this. So I think once all this goes together, I'll just have to cut me a hole somewhere in here, just trim me a little hole. I'll have to go get like a little body saw or something, because I don't have anything like that, and I kind of want to make it somewhat clean. I mean, I know this car is not in perfect shape, but I still want to make it somewhat clean. But I'll have to probably cut me a hole right in here, I'm guessing. I may just put that shifter assembly back in the car so I can put that bracket on properly, so I can run all my lines and stuff, because I hate to mount that shifter up, or not the shifter, sorry, but the handbrake up, and it'd be wrong, because it was moved a 1/4 inch or whatever. So I may see if I can put that shifter assembly back in, run some bolts through it, and kind of get that more sturdy, so I know it's closer. All right, it was a little more work than I wanted to, but I took the whole center console out, as you can see, just because I was fighting these wires and it was just wasn't going well. So I just wanted to give myself plenty of room to work. Had to take the seats out though because the brackets I have, they're fixed brackets. They don't slide. So I take the seats out so I get to all the bolts. But anyway, I ripped that out of there and we'll get plugging on this handbrake. All right, that was more difficult than I thought. It's so hard to get into where these little areas are to like tighten that nut. It's so hard to get tools in there. It was a little more difficult than I thought it was gonna be, but it's done now. Seems like it works all right. Well, obviously there's no pressure on it, it's not hooked up to anything, but everything spins freely and or moves freely. Okay, so the piece is out, but now this little black lip is hitting on the master cylinder. So I might trim that back a little bit with the body saw. So it's in. After some trimming, some cutting, we got it in. That's exciting. This thing's really starting to look like a drift car now. Got the e-brake. That's all you need. Now it's a drift car. Now, on a serious note though, this is kind of exciting. Kind of getting to where I feel like this car is just taking forever and it's just not going to get done. So for people that want to keep your AC and all that, the controls, what I did is I just trimmed the tabs off of that little control box and I stuffed it under that black piece as far as I could get it. I think that's like the main vents or whatever, but I just lifted up on that black piece and just shoved it in there. Well, I flipped it around. You can see the electrical connections are facing this. I flipped it around and the brake master cylinder sits right on top of it, so we should be good. All right, quick update. I got the master cylinder, it's the main line. Got it ran through this hole. And I drilled a hole. Took all the interior pieces out back here. I drilled a hole up there, brought it up, and I mounted the T here. There was a little screw, like a little screw there, and I just randomly had a bolt to fit it. So it kind of worked out good. I'm just kind of hoping I have enough line from there to get down to the calipers. I should. So on this brake line, I just shoved it through this little grommet here. And it's gonna look like we're gonna have plenty of line there, and I'll just find a way to mount that up out of everywhere. So what I'll do is I'll just probably stab a hole in this rubber and run my line down through the rubber, but I wanted to make sure it fit before I did that. Having trouble locating a hole on this side. We're gonna start working on this side because we already have the cable through, and we can wait and figure the other side out. We're in a 19. What is it? No, it's on. So quick update, if you want to keep your factory e-brake, you got to cut that dust cover all the way off. Putting this dual caliper on has been a pain. You got to take everything apart. I mean everything. But we have our new caliper. Well, it's not new, it's a junkyard caliper, but this is our dual caliper and this is our regular caliper. So we'll start reassembling it now. Dual calipers are on. Handbrake is in. Now all we gotta do is bleed it. Bleed the whole system, and we should be going. But, so that's a wrap. Like I said, this video ended up being a mile long, and it was not supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be real quick. I mean, this is like 3 days. So you might not see that in the video, but it literally like a 3-day trip. It just took so much time, and I was running out of time working on the car. So anyway, I'm cutting the video, getting out of here. See ya.